Hello guys, welcome to another trade recap. Today we got some shorts and it was a loser. This was a trade that I took on the combine today. I did not take a trade on the founder today because initially I did not get any entry on this move lower on the morning. And since it's past 12, I just prefer to trade the combine at this time of day. Especially because I know this thing can happen over here, but I mean that's just an example of what actually will happen. So let's go ahead and explain why I took the short today. So pretty much I was just looking at classic bebop retest over here to continue the push lower that we had on NQ and ES. So both of the charts were pretty much pushing lower. And I did cut the trade earlier, and let me explain why. So I was watching NQ 2 today, and we can see pretty much here. I mean NQ fucking railed the fucking New York BWAP over here. And then once we push lower here, which is pretty much my entry on ES, price didn't even touch New York BWAP and then push higher again. And also this, I was watching this fair value gap over here. And I was like, okay, if we inverse this bitch, bro, I'm not sure if I want to be in longs anymore, because I mean, we're pretty much already pushing here. And once we're here, I'm assuming we're probably going to go all the way over here, to the next BWAP, which is pretty much overnight BWAP over here. And once I saw this move over here, I saw the same shit. I was like, okay, we're pretty much gonna push past overnight, and just like the speed and the way that we cut through New York BWAP was not of my best interest for shorts. If I'm honest with you guys, and also I mean, if you wanna pick on this, I mean, if you place your stop, pretty much like here or like above previous day, I mean, you can say it was a valid trade, bro. But to be honest, initially my stop was here on opening range low. And then once I saw how price was moving and just pretty much like just caught through BWAP, bro, I was like, bro, I'm not gonna like, play this game, bro. So I just pretty much exited and I was like, okay, I'm gonna exit the trade over here. I'm down $200 on the combine. I'm gonna wait and see if I can get involved in maybe some longs or something like that, or just I get into the shorts. We'll see how price develops. But I mean, at this point, when shorts or whatever kicks in again, I'm not even watching the market anymore, bro. Like at this point, like after this, I'm not. Once I think I stopped looking at the market like around here because I saw this and I was like, all right, bro, I'm just gonna call it a day here. I'm not gonna like FOMO to another move or just jump into the market because why not? So I decided to step out of the market and I pretty much took this loss to the chin. And I was aware, and also I caught this trade kind of like a little bit early, quote unquote early. And that's because I was aware of the higher time frame on ES. Let me show you guys what I mean by that. So this is NQ, this is ES. So we can see how like this divergence over here. This is just a note from yesterday. I didn't like erase the drawing. So pretty much NQ already took this low over here, which is this one over here. We took this low here. Now we're bouncing from it, pretty much forming an SMT. And I'm not talking that much about the SMT. I'm talking about the positioning on price on ES. Like if we zoom out over here, we can see perfectly how this can be a higher low over here. You know, so we can be do something like this, and it was the short was tough. Now like you look at the structure over here, that's why I held my short a little bit loosely, and I was willing to exit the trade where I did. And the other thing it was just like I I I was looking to play the short, but I was not looking to make a new low of day, if I'm being honest with you guys, because I did saw this on the hard time frame. I was okay, or maybe I can just find a push lower and then just take my scalp and just finish the day with that. But price did bounce, kind of like I guess more aggressive than I expected. If I'm being honest with you guys, so that happened, and that's why I was kind of like aware. Okay, like ES structure compared to NQ structure just looks so different, bro. You know, so I was aware of that, and that's why I took the trade on the combat because also first of all it was kind of late already for me to trade a funded, and also I was aware of that. So yeah, guys. I mean, I'm really happy. If I'm being honest, despite the loss and whatever, I'm really happy how I managed to trade, and I'm confident on the decision that I did of exiting the trade where I did, based on what I saw on the charts and based on how I read the BWAP on ES and read the BWAP on NQ. I'm really happy with that decision. If I'm being honest, I'm not like feel formal that price actually ended up going like moving lower, because at this point, like I really did not want to be sitting on this, bro. Like 100%, bro. I would not be, mentally, it will be mentally draining, bro. Be on this pitch, bro. 100%. At least for me, at the point where I'm in my trading, I think this will be like mentally draining. So I just prefer to take my small loss over here. Just happy with that. And yeah. And then the other thing I was watching, which was like pretty much I was playing around, I was doing some markups over here, trying to get a long over here on the 1045 mark over here. Back to BWAP, and I actually took some ideas over here. This was an entry right here. Then once we inverse a 5 minute, there was another entry over here. And then once we bounce from the inverse, I took another entry over here. It was just ideas that I was playing in my head and on the chart, and actually they ended up playing out really good. Another thing I was seeing after the fact, right? This is just hindsight, is that apparently we took previous stage low, but we pretty much like found support in this area, well, at least on this price. We can see we just tapping it, reacting. A small consolidation is slowing down a little bit, and this could be a possible long over here. Stop at low day, back to BWAP. I think this could be a possible entry over here. I stopped taking this type of entries because I was just getting trapped on the short term and longs when I was just playing this like reverse place, and it's just easier for me to play the continuation like I did today. But I mean, it's just good to be marking this stuff up. I did not saw that we were actually using previously as a support. I noticed that later, but I think it's important to note that pretty much we found support at this key level, and then we're able to deliver a opportunity, you know, long over here. I'm not saying that we're gonna pretty much like catch all this move all the way to previous to pretty much opening range low. I'm not saying that. I think the trade for me will be back to BWAP because I will be looking for that retracement back to the mean, which is pretty much I guess I'm not sure if this is the correct phrasing or wording for this, like the mean reversal, whatever. Back to New York or even to equilibrium of the range. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm really happy with the trade. I'm really happy with the way that how I managed the trade and the decision that I did to exit the trade over here. I will be marking this trade idea that I got over here on the longs for the reversal. Again, it's not something I'm gonna start doing right now. I still need to be more confident in that. And also, I mean, we can see pretty much like for example this idea over here. I think someone on the chat took this shit, and that's actually a really good trade with a good stop loss. But for me, just like we're so close to over to like New York BWAP that I can just see price full retrace here. Oh, and I mean I didn't like mention like I mean I didn't mean to say shit like in a bad trade. I'm not talking about that. Just like saying shit like not in a diminishing manner of the trade. It was a good trade, in my opinion. I'm not saying that it was bad. You know what I'm saying, bro? It's not on a diminishing way that it was a shit trade. I'm not talking about that. You know what I mean. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think this is a good trade. But for me, just like we're like so close to New York, I think at least for me, if I'm taking a short here, I feel like I kind of like chasing price. If I'm being honest, unless like I'm like certainly we're gonna sell off in a sense. But for me, like this type of entries, I'm gonna mark it down anyway, But I think it's just like kind of like chasing price, but also I think it's a valid trade because you have all the BWAPs defending your position. In a sense, you have like pretty much opening range low, New York overnight, and previous day BWAP defending your entry or your short. I think it's if you like put it in that way and phrase it that way, it makes sense to go short. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I was kind of like I was not expecting shorts, but when I was looking at price view market, I was seeing NQ kind of. I was seeing that NQ might wanted to tip over and pretty much take these lows because we were like so close and pre-market, which is pretty much like around here. Either makes sense for me to just find like a long here on NQ. I would most likely to expect the short that we had here. But I mean, I didn't get an entry, so it is what it is, guys. But as an overall, really happy with the trade, really happy with the execution and my decision today. We'll see what happens tomorrow. I mean, it's just Tuesday today. And we have a full week today. Thank God. But I mean, I don't think we have any news this week, so it might be kind of like a tricky week, slow week. Not sure, but we'll be back tomorrow looking for more trade ideas and stuff. And yeah, guys, I hope you guys made money today. I hope you guys had a great day today, and see you guys tomorrow. Take care.